Hey, Weird War Weirdos. It's Brian again. It's been a while since I've done a live feed. Thought I'd try to get some painting in. I got some shit I need to paint, so I figured I should start painting, Thought I'd give you guys a chance to chime in and rap with me if you guys are interested. Let's see here. I added a couple new channels to my restream. I'm seeing if it's working. I did. What did I do? I'm trying to mess with this Instagram on here. See if it works. Just give me a second. What the fuck is that? I pushed the wrong shit. Bunch of DOS prompt shit popped up. Oh god, this fucking computer sucks. Just give me a second, guys. I'm trying to. I am not techno savvy. Let's see if we can get this going here. Hope you guys are all staying cool. Man, it is hot as fuck out there in the world. Whew. It is hot. It's crazy. What in the fuck? It's not working. I don't know why it keeps doing this. Anyway, screw it. I don't care. But yeah, so I figured I got some stuff I need to paint, so I'm going to paint. All right, what do we got up with y'all? Let's see, I can show you guys. So we got some Soviets, some early war Soviets I want to paint up for my next mission. We got like 3 Commissar or NKVD kind of guys. And then there's some like troops, just some pressed militia type troops. And then we've got this big cruiser like super beefcake or whatever. Also got some dust stuff I'm working on. This is I can't remember who that is. Some badass. And this is the priest, I believe. And paint these guys up. So I'm gonna try to do some of that tonight. See if I can get any of it done. If we're lucky, maybe I can get some of that shit done. But yeah, that's the big plan. So what you been up to, man? It is hot as fuck down here in Texas. Woo! I mean, it is crazy hot out here. We got, oh no, it's bad down here. We, let's see what we got here. Green, gray. I'm looking at all my, using my paint guides here. I use where are these? Battlefront? I guess this is the Flames of War little paint guides they used to have on their paint sets, I guess. So I'm kind of using that as a painting reference. So I also got some pics on here that, because it is early war, I want to try to stick with what it looked like in early war. I found some pictures of some commissars. Find it, here it is. But I guess in the summer, the commissars. No, in the winter, the commissars were blue, I believe, and then in the summer they wore white. Oh, shit. Yeah. So they always wore. I guess their pants are always blue, but their shirts are white. So that's what I'm gonna paint these guys up, because we're in July right now in our Weird World War II campaign. So I'm gonna do it that way. I'm gonna do like the blue. Let me get back to this thing here. Get back to it. Yeah. So here's and these are great. These are artisan design minis from their Back of Beyond. And I'll paint this guy. He's got the blue pants. And he's got the white shirt. So good too. Woo. So I need some white here. My buddy, My buddy Bo sent me like some badass white paint. It's just like white paint. So it's kick-ass. Kick-ass. Appreciate it, Bo. Oh man, still beat. I just so this week I took Mel up to the mountains of Colorado. That was a 13-hour drive. Whew. It was a fun drive. We had a good time. I bought Mel a new car here recently, so we drove her car, and man, it was nice. It was like, hey, squirrel, what's up, buddy? I was saying that I took Mel up to Colorado. We went up to the Rio Grande National Forest out by Creed. We went to the North Clear Creek Falls campground, which was freaking awesome. We did have a little problem. We didn't bring enough cold weather clothes, but we made it work. We snuggled up at night. It's summer, right? And I was figuring that it would get down to like 50 or so, up in the mountains at night. But no, sir, it got down in the low 40s, if not the high 30s. And woo, sitting in a tent in the middle of nowhere, that in the low 40s, high 30s, that shit is cold. It is cold. But we had a good time. We were only up there for a couple days. But I took her. That was the campground that my family and I used to go to when I was a kid. So I figured I'd take her up there and create some new memories for there. So that was fun. She never been like mountain camping before. Mountain tent camping. And this is like, guys, this isn't like, there's no electricity. There is a outhouse. And the campgrounds have like, they've got a fire pit, and they've got like a concrete picnic table. And that's it. You gotta bring your own firewood. You gotta, your own food. There's bears there. There's moose, deers, antelopes, and all sorts of shit. It was a blast. Yeah, Mel was freaking out the first night because she was hearing things out there. I'm like, baby, this is the wilderness. Of course you're gonna hear stuff. We're in the shit. Luckily, no predators. So, well, if there were predators, obviously it wasn't threatened, so we weren't going to be a good hunt for it. So there you go. So yeah. But yeah, we had a good time. The drive, woo, it's a 13-hour drive from where we're at up to the campground, which isn't bad. That's just a day drive. We just walked. We just drove it all the way through. We just woke up early and we got there around 8. And so at 8 o'clock up in the mountains of Colorado at that time, we had about an hour to set up the tent and get everything set up before we lost the light. So it was pretty cool. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. Checking all that. Checking out Sean, what's up, dude? But yeah, we had a good time. And Mel's new car, I got her a Volkswagen Golf, I think it's called. It kind of looks like a station wagon a little bit, I think. But don't tell her it's a station wagon. It's badass though. It's got all the bells and whistles. It's got like series, badass, seat warmers, electric everything. Just she was in hog heaven. It was a super comfortable car. Of course, I drove most of the way. I drove all the way up, and then we split it on the way back. I was beat. I had to get some sleep on the way down, so we would rotate it. Yeah, it was so funny because oh, where you been, man? Sean, where you been going? Yeah, it's funny because when we left Texas, it was my God, it was 108, 109, I think, when we left Texas. And then shit, we drove through. It didn't. The temperatures didn't start to drop until we were in Colorado. But when we got into Colorado proper, shit, it was like 75 or something. I'm like, oh my god, we need a summer house up here in Texas or up in Colorado. Nell's having a blast. You know, she was freaking out because we're driving through the actual Rockies, right? And if you've ever been on those, the Colorado roads are fantastic. The highways are fantastic, and they're right next, to they're running through the mountains, so you're driving right next to, sheer cliffs and all that stuff. And that was freaking her out. I'm like, wait till we get to the campground. We got to go up a mountain road to the campground, and she was, oh man, yeah, that was rough on her, but she made it. She did it. We survived the falling rock. She's like, that's a falling rock sign. I'm like, yep. Keep your eyes out. Let me know if something's falling. I'll try to dodge it. Oh, okay. You went to Galveston? Oh, right on. Yeah, she was down. Her and her sister went on a trip down to Galveston, I think last month. They hit the beach, stay down there just a couple days. I've done the Galveston. I'm not a big fan of the Gulf beaches, because the water's dirty and whatnot. And it's hot as hell. I mean, you think it's hot in the city. You think Houston's hot. Go to the beach. You got that wind, right? But shit, it is so damn humid. You're like dying. The wind does feel good down there, though. You're going to Scottsdale, Arizona, I take it, right? What's in Scottsdale? Anything specific? Anything unique? On our way up to Colorado, we passed the town. What was it called? Alvarado or Avalana or something like that. And it had a hobby. I meant to go, but I didn't. They had a Hobby Lobby there, which is general hobby shit. But you might find some cool stuff there. And they had a comic book / tattoo parlor. But on our way home, we left really early in the morning, so we drove by it when it was closed. So. And the first time we saw it, we wanted to get to the camp to set up because we were kind of pushing for time to try to get there. I didn't want to buy a hotel for the night I wanted to try to get to the campground and set up before it got dark. So we were racing to try to do that. So we didn't get to. A modeling competition, huh? Well, that's cool. What kind of modeling? Like fashion modeling or something? How does that even work? Do they just wear the clothes and then I guess there's judges or something? I don't know anything about that. I am far from being a model. I don't know anything about that world. Or is it a model, like Model Kit? I want to say down here in Texas, not too long ago, there was isn't there like the International Brotherhood of Modeling or some shit like that? I don't know, some big Model Kit group. I guess they had a big event down here in Texas somewhere. I think last week or the week before, that's cool. I always enjoy watching those videos of the guys who just kind of that were there. They take the pictures of all the different kits and stuff. Man, there's some talented folks out there that can paint. Woo! If my eyeballs weren't so shite, maybe I could paint better. Try and get this closer so I'm not so far away. So you guys don't have to squint if I show you something. Ugh, look at that ugly bastard. So like something else me and Mel been doing lately. We've been watching the '80s version of North and South. I don't know if you guys have seen that. It's like a Civil War like miniseries. This one had like Patrick Swayze in it. Anyway, it was good, man. It was really good. So we watched the first 2 seasons, right? We're on so it's just like a soap opera. It's really good. I enjoyed it. It's funny, we were sitting there and we're talking like, could they even make a movie like that now or a TV show like that now? And because it touches on everything in the Civil War, but it's mostly about a rich plantation family in the South and then a rich industrial, like they own like a forge up north, right? So it's relative, it's rich people, but they do there are characters that are slaves and poor whites, and then you got the abolitionists, the fanatical, with Jim Brown or whatever. But it's really good. But anyway, I was thinking like, shit, you can't even do a show like that now. It'd be so like, I don't know. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I need to get one, man. I need to get one of those kind of magnifiers that you put in your head, and you wear them like a goggle or something. Because man, my eyes are for shit. It sucks. Just getting old. Getting old. It was funny, um, going up there to Colorado. I used to hike a lot, man. I used to be a big hiking guy back in my youth when I was thinner and younger. And man, couldn't do the same level of hiking that I did in the past. When we went, and I'm just like, oh, can't breathe. She was the same way. Mel's got some breathing issues, and we were both like you're gonna have to be careful, honey, at first because it's like the air's thinner, and we're not gonna be used to it right away. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun though. Lots of fun. Yeah, you too, Hermit. I haven't been on much of the guys live shows and talking. So I've been working. I DoorDash now, and I work a lot, and it's usually in the times when they're doing their shows. I try to catch what I can. Sometimes I'll be out on they'll have a lull or something. I'll jump on and see what you guys are talking about. Yep. Oh, so me being a weird World War II guy, I just saw a preview for a new movie coming out. It's a Norwegian movie. I'll be honest with you guys. The Norwegians make some good shit. I've seen I've seen some of their horror movies are pretty good. I watched this one. It's like a TV show where like they're at war with Russia. I want to say it's like Resistance or something like that. It's really good. But anyway, this is a movie about the Arctic convoys during World War II. That they were the coming from North America to the northern ports in the Soviet Union, and like the submarines and the Germans attacking them. It's pretty good. It looks really good. I guess it comes out here soon. I have to. Let me see if I can find that. Let me find that link so you guys can check it out. I'll put it in the. Jump in here. See if I can find a link to it. Let you guys see it. It looks awesome. It reminds me of. Oh shit! What's his name? The guy from Casablanca. He did a movie called I think like Action in the North Atlantic or something like that. It kind of reminded me of that. Let's see if I can find that real quick. Look, man, my fucking. I got this computer. This is my older computer I'm looking at right now, and it it's just a mouse on it. It's like I go there. It's called the Arctic Convoy. That's it. In theaters and digital on July 26th. There you go. Let me grab that. There we go. All right. So I'll put the link in the chat so you guys can check it out. I think you guys can just click on it. Can't post messages to some whatever. I don't care. I guess depending on where you're looking at this, it may not show up or it might show up. So, but anyway, it's there. If you can click on, it's called the movie's called. Let me write it down. The Arctic Convoy. Yeah, give it a look, man. It looks really cool. Looks pretty cool. So these figures I'm painting for our next Weird World War II campaign game is going to be set in the Soviet Union. And on this date, I think it's July. I can't remember if it's July something. The Soviets passed this new law, right, that allowed them to pretty much incarcerate anybody they wanted to for like not being commie enough or whatever it is. But what I was going to do, because I alter history and whatnot, it's also going to include the incarceration and subjugation of like supers. So in this particular game, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have like these NKVD, guys, commissar guys type. They come down to this village, this rural village, and I might make it the Ukraine, to be honest with you. But they come to this small village where they know there's this like big giant like bruiser guy, right? And they know he's like super strong. The locals know about him, and he's kind of famous in the area. But he's him and his family are kind of like, they're not anti-commie, but they're not pro-commie either. They're not communists. They just, they're just farmers doing their farming thing. They don't really give a shit about the politics. They just, doing what they do to survive. And the Soviets are like, okay, let's get this guy. Let's press him into service, and then we can use him as a weapon for whatever. And if he resists, we'll just take him out or arrest him or whatever. Just to make him an example of for any other supers that might be about. But what the Soviets aren't expecting is that the village is, they love this guy. I guess this guy saved several of the villagers' lives over the years, and I just knocked the damn writer off. Anyway, he saved several people over the years. He's a big help. He's like super strong and super tough, and he's been able to like, help in the farming and helping in the industry or whatever, the locals. So he's a big hero, and everybody loves him, right? So when these Soviet ass clowns come down to try to snatch him, the village is gonna like defend and try to protect him, and he's gonna try to protect himself and the village. So it should be a cool little like a skirmish battle. And depending on what happens, if the village destroys the Soviets, we might do a later game where this Soviet reinforcements come in, or the village people gotta make a break, and they gotta whatever. So we might make a little small campaign of it all, depending on what the outcome is. If he's we're gonna do a little role playing too. We're gonna do like can the Soviets convince him to give up for the safety of his family and the town, or but we'll try to role play all that out and see what happens. So it should be kind of cool. Should be fun. It's something a little different. So we'll see what happens with that. But I got to paint this shit up. I don't have any early. See, it's funny because I'm Weird World War II, obviously, but one of my biggest things about my Weird World War II is I want it as historically accurate as possible, but with the weird, right? So, you want, you might have spider tanks and stuff, right? But, the armored crewmen are going to be wearing, black, uniforms with pink piping, and, the skull and crossbones is on their helmets, that kind of shit. It's like, it's a, yeah, okay, it's a mechanical spider tank, but it's still a German, armored crewman in it, and it looks like it, and it looks, like how it would look in reality if it did exist. I don't know, it's weird. But I think that's what's cool about Weird World War II is, and I think a lot of people get caught up not realizing that you really don't have to go far weird in Weird World War II, right? You guys can just go slight. It doesn't even have to be like spider tanks and zombies or whatever. It can just be like, this unit is here instead of somewhere else. Or, there were king tigers in North Africa, fighting against the Americans and the Brits. Maybe the Italians had some badass, maybe they were able to mass produce that. What was that fighter, that Fiat fighter they had? It was supposed to be really good, but, they just didn't have a lot of them. Maybe they were able to mass produce those bastards and, actually put up, have a good way to fight back. But I don't know. But yeah, World War II is what you make it. Or diesel punk, or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I'm painting horses. It's been a while since I painted some horses. I was online. I was on Colts looking up, whatnot, STLs, do all the stuff that I do, and came across a STL, a polar bear with like a saddle, right? So you could like put riders on this polar bear, and I'm like, shit, I gotta get that. So I'm probably gonna print up a bunch of like I don't know, like, I don't necessarily have to make them polar bears, but I was thinking about maybe making like a unit of like Soviet like polar bear like bear riding infantry, and then maybe some like Finnish or maybe some Norwegian infantry like that. Excuse me, cavalry like that. That'd be kind of cool. Somehow in the Weird War world, they're able to domesticate bears enough to make them cavalry of some sort. Now that's Weird War right there, baby. What is this? Keep popping up. Can you guys still hear me? If you can, I know there's 6 of you guys watching. Just throw something in the chat to let me know you guys can still hear me. But yeah, so what are you guys up to? What you guys been doing? Anything exceptional? Anything out of the ordinary? Anything worth talking about? That's one thing for me, guys, is like painting. It's just such an effort these days for me for some reason. I just, like I said, my eyesight and just, it's just such an effort to do it now. So it's hard. It's easy to print shit or, find STLs and all that shit, or to buy minis. It's always been easy to buy the minis. It's the hardest part is painting it all. That's the hard part. Okay, good. Thanks, Sean. I got a question for you guys. When you guys are watching like YouTube, I assume you guys watch YouTube, like gaming stuff. I mean, you guys bored with it? And let me expound here. It's like, unfortunately, there's so many games out there, right, guys? There's so much out there. We live in the golden age of gaming right now.
But because people, are caught up in the algorithm, or they want to make money, and I get it. I mean, look, I'm not dogging them, people that do that, but it's just the same shit. It's the same shit over and over. It's the same box. First of all, I hate box openings. I hate box openings. I mean, I know they can be good at times because before you dump $1 bazillion on some new game system, you actually can see what's in it. I get it. It's just not my thing. But once you see one box opening, I mean, that's it. You don't need to see any more of the same damn thing. So it just seems like everybody are doing the same damn thing, playing the same damn games. And it's just like, ugh. It's boring. So boring. I mean, and don't get me wrong, a lot of these channels have, their production value is shit. More than I could ever do. And, it looks good. Their minis look good. The camera looks good. All that. But it's the same fucking game. It's just, we're playing bolt action. Wow, yeah, we got. And the one thing I hate about bolt action, the TO&E of bolt action is just fucking dumb. I think you should be able to play with whatever the fuck you want. I mean, if you want to play, if it's a 500, if it's a 1,000-point game and you want to take nothing but armored cars, let them. Let them set up these game systems to, you got point values. These vehicles have a point value compared to everything else in the game. I mean, to limit, I just hate that shit. It's just dumb. It's just like I've never been into point. I hate point systems. I hate them. Because it's like, it's so abstract. But, it's so funny because so many people in this hobby, that's all they know. All they know is this tournament level style of fucking gameplay. It sucks, man. Just dumb. But, it is what it is. You play how you play. Yeah, there you go. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, have IR troops hunting down the golem. I don't know if that would even work because would the IR work against the golem? I mean, isn't it like golems are made out of like clay or dirt or something, aren't they? They might not even can be seen in the IR stuff, IR spectrum. They don't give off any heat. Well, I guess you don't need heat in IR, right? It's just but who knows? Maybe the IR doesn't reflect. Fuck out. It's funny because, like, we play. I played against the guy. We play the modified battleground World War II system, right? And we've modified these rules, but the infrared stuff it's an active sensor, right? So it's like if you've got a scope and the enemy has their IR spotlight shining, it's like a giant fucking spotlight. It's a giant flashlight, right? So you can see them, right? If you have an IR scope and you can see their IR spotlight, right? So unless only one side has the IR, it kind of defeats the purpose because it's almost just like using flashlights, because if both armies have the scope that can pick up the IR light, then you can see each other and you shoot the tail out of each other. So it's like, but if one army doesn't have the IR, that's the whole big thing. You can just, if they're using actual lighting, to see what's going on, that IR crew has a better chance of, causing some havoc before they're seen. But yeah, we play that heavy. We try to play realistic because that's what's fun. It's like you have this equipment, but just like in reality, I mean, you have this badass, you got this badass weapon system, right? That can shoot 1,000,000 rounds a second. Okay, that's fantastic, but how long can you actually shoot it for? Like 2 minutes, and the entire ammo, the entire vehicle is expended. So it's like, shit, we got to use this thing like effectively and like sparingly, because if we don't, we're fucking out of ammo. And we like to put stuff like that into our game because it makes it fun. It's fun because listen, guys, when you guys play, the beer and pretzels are fun, guys. Don't get me wrong. And then the fucking tournament style play, it's fun. You just go in, spend a couple hours throwing dice, drinking beers, whatever, and there you go. But if you want some like really real fun, when you get to minutia of like, weapon systems and like, let's say like tank guns, right? Well, okay, your tanks will have like armor piercing shells, right? Certain cannons didn't, man. Certain anti-tank guns, didn't have certain weapons, or howitzers didn't have certain ammo or whatever. So if you do a little history in there, right, you'll see that or just let's say the Stugs, right, the German Stugs. It's like most of the rounds in the Stug was HE. It was more than half of the ammo in a Stug was high explosive, and then the rest were like AP, because they weren't really tank destroyers. They were like infantry, support vehicles. So a lot of it was HE. So if you play like that, you play like the rationale of like how it was actually done, it limits you and it makes you a better player. It makes you a better strategist and tactician, because you realize like there's 37 millimeter whatever only has AP and doesn't have HE. So it's like, well, shit, this thing ain't worth a damn against infantry, right? But this is all we got. So what are we gonna do? So nerd, what's up, girl? But yeah, so it's like I like that kind of like limitation on myself and the game, because it makes it more challenging in the deployment and of your weaponry and your infantry. And it's not just the enemy. You got issues with your weapons or your ammo. Like in my game, we have an ammo rating, and what happens is like I think most weapons have an ammo rating of 4. And so what happens, and what that means is like when you're playing your game, if you roll a jam, okay, you put like a little red die next to that figure or whatever weapon system or whatever it is, and if you get to 4, that means they're either out of ammo or the weapon's fouled up to the point where it has to be addressed. It's not just, oh, you miss a round of shooting. It's like you got to fix it, right? And what mostly it means is that you're out of ammo, right? So you're gonna have to you are gonna have to specifically take action to move to some sort of like collection point or pill for the dead, spend actions to either fix the weapon or gather ammo, right? And so you have this ammo, and that's fun, man, because machine guns, their ammo ratings are usually higher because the people using the machine gun have a lot more ammo on them. But the kicker is that, so like for the example, like you've got just a rifleman, a bolt action rifleman, right? His ammo rating would be 4, okay? But he's using a bolt action. So every round, every turn, every action that he uses a fire, he just rolls 1 dice. So more than likely, you're not going to get too many jams in a game to be out of ammo, right? But if you got a machine gun, let's say this is a 30 cal, right? LMG, it'll have an ammo rating of 5 or 6, right? But that thing rolls 5 dice every action you roll. So that means it's pumping out the ammo. So the more dice you roll is the more possibility of getting these jams, right? And then running out of ammo. So it's a cool little, internal mechanic to like put limitations on shit. And that's reality. I mean, you didn't have unlimited ammo. You'd have to retreat if you're out of ammo, or your weapons are fouling or whatever. But I like stuff like that. I like that complexity. Now, if I'm brand new to the game, like gaming, you don't want to play that way because it's like, what the fuck is this? Because it's all new to you. But I think, this is me. I think, but as we play as war gamers, I think we want more out of our game systems. But the problem is that's not what we're getting. We're getting simpler, faster, more abstract gaming. They want the fast, the furious gaming. Like we all, I've been gaming for fucking 40 years, man, right? So it's like, I've done all that. I've done the just it's easy. Let's play. We got a couple hours. I want some fucking some number crunching. I want some like reality in these games because I've done all that stuff. The easy shit. It's just not challenging anymore. It's just not what I choose to play. So that's why I basically wrote my own game system. So I didn't have to play like everybody. But then the problem is that, you know, no one knows how to play it. But I mean, if you guys have played the Battleground system, it's basically that. It's just been modified from the Battleground system. But, you know, it's so funny because a lot of people never even heard of Battleground World War II. Never even heard of it. It was the first 28 millimeter fucking World War II, like, rule set. No one's even fucking heard of it. It's fucking fantastic. There's a lot of stuff out there like that, you know? There's lots of games that have been around, but it's just they don't. And you know, like I was talking about on YouTube, it's like everybody's worried about the fucking algorithm and all that crap, and it's just like now but the people who don't do that, those are the people I'm watching. I'm watching people who are playing weird games I've never heard of, you know, stuff, and it's cool. It's just a cool insight of something different, something new, something you haven't heard of, and I love watching that kind of stuff because you can. Although I don't like learning, like, this is how you play the game. I don't like games like that. I like to just watch it. And I can pick up, like, oh, okay, this is obviously some sort of mechanic here. That there's a reduction, whatever. I like that kind of stuff. I learn new mechanics. It gives me ideas to put into my mechanics if I wanted. Exactly, nerd. It's like bolt action. It's the, you know, I got a dog on bolt action because it's fucking World War II 40K. Okay, and listen, it's totally successful. It's huge. Okay, it's a good system to just throw down some dice with and play real fast. It's fun. But a 3-man team on a medium machine gun, that's fucking ridiculous. The whole, like, a medium machine gun team would have like 10 dudes in it, right? I mean, you might have one gunner and one loader, right, and then one spotter for the gun, but everybody else around them are ammo carriers. They will place the men who are dead or injured, you know, all that shit. I mean, they didn't just give 3 guys this badass gun because they knew these guys were going to get shot up. They needed more men to, you know, to keep it fed. They got to keep feeding this machine. And they just have, it's just dumb. It's just dumb. I just don't get it. Yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, I get it. They want the Fast and the Furious gameplay. They want that beer and pretzel style of gaming, but it just doesn't make any sense. And it's like, and another I don't know, and I know Bolt Action has a new system coming out. One of my huge criticisms is that when their HE weapons, you know, miss, that's it. It just vanishes into thin air. It's just like the bomb just vanishes. Right? It doesn't land 10 feet away or 3 feet away from the intended target. It just vanishes. I mean, dude, back in the day, artillery, if it got close, that was good enough because it was so fucking big. Like, the blast was so big. But in this fucking just ridiculous game mechanic, it just doesn't exist. Deviation doesn't exist. So why would you have any blast markers if you don't have a deviation mechanic? They should have just kept it the original, where a medium mortar produces D6 hits or whatever. That's it. I mean, just that kind of basic, just mechanic. And why have a template at all if it doesn't deviate and move around or whatever? I didn't get it. I don't understand it. That's dumb. That's super dumb. But again, you know, it's just not how I play. So what have you been up to, nerd? You been gaming at all? I've seen some on my feed on YouTube. I've seen some new videos of BattleTech clan, like different clans pop up. I've been meaning to watch them. I haven't though yet. Like, I know people who play that crazy shit. I should see what the hell it means. Oh, I don't know if you guys saw the new shit on my table, but I I found some of these little tanks. Check these out. This is I think this is from a video game. It's called a Metal Slug or something like that. Metal something or other. But it's a cool little tank. You know, it's like a little. I think it's from some sort of. It's a video game. So like, it looks like a video game fucking tank, but it's pretty cool looking. It's got like these like chain guns back here. These are like Gatling chain guns, and there's like a big like howitzer right here. But I guess the tank can jump in the video game. It can like jump over things. It's kind of cool, So I figured I'd either give this to some like alien group or something, or make it like I have that character in my Weird War II campaign called the Mad Engineer. He's just like this super smart, intelligent anarchist. Basically, he's making robots and he's just like sending them out in the world to cause this destruction. Might have those part of his crew. Oh yeah, so how do they look? I guess Nerd said that she got the Cool Mini or Not bought the Dust IP, and they produced just kind of like an initial, I guess, a reintroduction to Dust. I think it's only like a dozen so figures, I think. And like came with a comic book or something. But I'm curious. I wasn't really impressed with the minis, to be honest with you. I didn't think they really looked that good. But I was gonna get them anyway. But the shipping was as much as the minis in the comic, and I'm just like, no, I can't do that. That's just dumb. Just out of principle, I'll buy them if they ever come in the store. I'll just buy them at the store. I just don't want to pay that ship. Where is Cool Mini or Not? In that like Taiwan or the Philippines or some shit? Can't remember where they're from. Oh, they're a little bit smaller. Well, that's cool. I mean, I'm surprised they weren't. I'm trying to think because I think Dust is going to turn into kind of like a Zombicide, Weird War II Zombicide thing. Because they pretty much making everything for Zombicide. There's like a Western Zombicide, and there's like sci-fi Zombicide, and all that. Which hell, if you got a successful mechanic, why not do it? I guess. But I don't think it's going to have any of the same kind of flavor that the original game had. I don't know. I mean, shit. Paolo's working for him now. I think he's an artist over there. I talked to him the other day. Just wished him hope everything's going good. And oh, they came with Zombicide type cards. Oh, okay. I gotcha. So it's basically it's become like a board game more than I guess the original was. I don't know. Zombicide's okay. I know a lot of people like it. I'm trying to think. Man, my eyes suck. My eyes suck, guys. They suck. Green, gray. There we go. We played last weekend. I played an old D&D kind of like it. God, I can't remember what the hell it's called. It's like a D&D Risk. It was pretty fun. It was like there was like the elves and the humans, and then like the chaos and the like orcs, the armies you could play, and it was just like Risk. There was like monster unit, and then like commoner unit, and it was pretty fun though. I used to play a lot of Risk back in the day. I guess it could be like Axis and Allies though too. It's like a mix of Axis and Allies and Risk, and it's set in the like D&D world. It was all right. I got my ass kicked, like bad. I was the elves. I just got my ass smoked. I saw there was a new Weird War II role-playing game out called what the hell is that thing called? It is called. Put it on my blog. I'll stick a link to my blog entry of it. So I guess you play as like a group of like allied vampires. They're dropped into like occupied France, I think, and the whole object. I guess Hitler's like, you know, it's that during that time when Hitler visited France or some shit, when he went to go gloat over his victory. I guess they're there at that time, and they're there to kill him and eat him or whatever the fuck. But it's Weird World War II. I reached out to the guys who made it and said, "Hey man, hook me up and I'll play it out with the other Weird World weirdos. Check it out." But they're like, "Who are you?" It's all good. So is there a new BattleTech? Is there a new BattleTech quick starter? Damn, how many? I thought they just came out with. Well, I guess. Oh, I think you told me about that. There's like infantry and aircraft now in this one or something like that. That thing's pretty popular. I say that, but I haven't seen too many battle reports on it out there. Maybe I'm just not looking hard enough. Oh, that's cool. That's good. About time. Yeah, I mean, I never thought. I mean, if you're not doing a combined arms kind of game, it just doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, you're not just going to have mechs on mechs, unless it's like a robot jocks kind of thing where you're fighting like mech versus mech purposely to like for whatever reason. What color do I use? Do you guys ever forget what color you use for uniforms and shit? Man, I hate that. It's like you paint a whole army, right? And I swear I made notes. I'm like, okay, the belts are this. This is the paint color I used, and whatever. And then you always throw that shit. I usually don't, but I can't find what I anyway. But so I'm like, shit, what color did I use for that thing? Oh, there you go. Cool. Yeah, man. I'm telling you, Sean, it's like, back in the day when I was writing rules for the IR, because Easy 8 did a rough rule set for them. It actually uses it produces, a cone of light at a certain distance or whatever for the infantry based IR. The spotlight, it only goes out so far, and it creates like a cone, like a flashlight, right? And then there's different size, right? Different power size. Like the vehicle ones were a little bit more stronger. They produced a little bit longer. And then they had like the spotlight version of the IR where mounted in half tracks to kind of like shine out. There's a great. Did you guys ever used to there was like on the History Channel, there used to be like tank battles of the world or something like that. And it was a cool show. It was like they would CGI these famous tank battles. But there's a great one using IR. I think it was during the Yom Kippur War when the Syrians or might have been the fucking Egyptians. I think it was the Syrians. I can't remember. But the Israelis, right, are on this hill and they've got IR, right? And the Egyptians or whoever the fuck it was, I can't remember. But the enemy is coming up and they're using limited IR, right? And the tank commanders of the Israelis were like, shit, we can see these tanks with the IR spotlights, but they didn't turn their IR lights on. So they were just aiming because they could pick up these IR flashlights and they just shot at the fucking tanks that had the fucking spotlights on. So it was shit like that. And I'm like, dude, yeah. I mean, in theory, you can just not use your scope. You just use your IR scope, but you don't use the spotlight with it, right? So you're just sitting in a in a hole, in a dark hole, and you see all these guys with IR like looking around, and you just like aim for that. I did a lot of research on all the different shit. So here's something for you guys. In World War II, the German IR lamps were blue. They weren't red and they weren't black. They were blue. They're kind of like a real deep, like royal blue. So there you go. So if you have red painted IR spotlights on your shit, change them blue. Yeah, it's pretty cool. That's kind of cool. Maybe so Sean, maybe there's some new tech that maybe a certain like it picks up supernatural. Maybe supernatural shit has a certain like spectrum maybe that you could pick up. That'd be kind of interesting, like your Monster Hunter units in your whatever army have some special magical device that can pick up non-human life forms or non-normal life forms, like supernatural, and maybe supernatural gives off a radiation or emanates some sort of like wave or something that this detector can pick up or some shit. I don't know. That'd be kind of cool. Brian, what's up, dude? Oh, that's cool. Yeah, Battleground was cool. They had those like unit sheets or whatever. Yeah, the Golan Heights. That was the battle. You have the Syrians on the Golan Heights, yeah. But yeah, that's real interesting because like, but when you see IR being used in a lot of game systems, it's just okay, if you're playing a night game, it just increases your range at an additional 12 inches or some shit, right? That's it. So the whole minutia of like the tech is just lost due to simplicity, ease of play, and speed. And it's just like, well, fuck. I want to be able to. I want that cool like. I have an IR scope, or I have I have an IR scope. I could pick up this guy's spotlight and I'm gonna just shoot at it. That's fucking cool. I read somewhere that the Germans' gunpowder was like flashless, which is bullshit. I don't think it was flashless. But anyway, I think most gunpowder of the day it wasn't like the gunpowder used like back in the day when you shot it like fucking blew up, like big flash. And then you have flash suppressors and all that kind of shit on your stuff. But more than likely weapons are still going to produce some sort of like light when it's shot at, when it's fired. But again, that we have that in my rules. There's muzzle flash. You could blind fire to the muzzle flash and hopefully hit what the hell you're hitting. But anyway, what do? You want to play fast, or do you want to play a little more challenging? I one thing I don't want to play is simulation. I mean, I like really crunchy stuff, but when you get to simulation level where it's like heavy number crunching, I get, I like a little number crunching, but too much is too much. But what is too much? I guess it's up to the person. I'm curious. Well, so I guess in the Weird World War II world, I guess Andy Chambers is going to take up the lead in Conflict 47's new design or whatever. I'm curious because Chambers has made some decent stuff in the past. He's an accomplished game designer, and he's done a lot of the lore and created some cool shit. I'm just curious if he's just going to make a rule system and then vanish. Like he's not going to be like consistently on it. Maybe just initial. I think that was like bolt action initially, right? Didn't Priestley and the other guy just kind of write the rules and then they were done? They just kind of went off. it's a shame. I would you think that the main rules guys would stick around and keep working on it and create new stuff and whatever. I don't know. We'll see what happens. It's cool to see, Weird War II getting a little bit of fanfare and a little celebrity on it. I mean, I don't know if I don't think I consider Rick Presley a celebrity. I mean, I think he wrote some pretty cool rules, but I don't like hero worship the guy. I think we're all capable of making some cool shit if we just do it. It's true. It's true, man. I mean, I don't mind charts. I really don't. In fact, in my gaming experience, that's the norm. To be honest with you, charts and modifiers and shit like that. That's the norm, not the exception. But they've kind of gone away with that. I think in the current flavor of gaming, for ease of whatever. But I mean, shit, it's a whole new world, man. We see these companies. I mean, I'm just sitting here like, let's just think on a level of gaming miniatures. I mean, I support the game miniatures that I think are cool. I'll buy them, but for the most part, I don't. I think if you were forced to choose, I think you may not need to buy them. Because if you have a printer, you don't need to buy anything really. But I think in the future it's going to be superior game mechanics opposed to like mini ranges and shit like that. I think people are going to just come to the conclusion is that I can just buy a 3D printer and like buy that shit on the cheap so I can play. I want to play, but what game system am I going to use? That's going to be. And I think maybe these game companies are going to be like, man, we need to make some superior rules here because our mini sales are dropping. Because I mean, seriously, guys, it's like if you've been gaming for 30 years, right? Let's say you've been gaming 28 millimeter World War II for 20 years. You got everything you need. You know what I mean? You probably have every tank, World War II tank that you want for your army. You've probably got every figure, every mini. I mean, if it's painted, that's something different, but you've got it. You've been playing it for 20 years, so you got it. So you're not going to be buying that shit. You're not going to be buying new King Tigers because you've already bought them 15 years ago. So it's like, but you might be in the, so you're not looking for new minis, man. You're looking for a game system that you like and want to play. So I think a lot of these, and I think it's always been like that. I think all except, Warlord came about. And what's cool about Warlord is I think it introduces people that aren't normally historical gamers into historical gaming, right? But once you have that initial, mini buy, you're done. Napoleonics only make, you only have so much Napoleonic stuff, right? So once you buy it all, they're not going to come out with a new Napoleonic, cannon that can, automatic cannon, whatever. Like 40K, you can come out with new vehicles and new troop types and all that kind of shit. But if you're playing historical, I mean, it is what it is, right? And once you buy it, you never have to buy it again. So people have been doing it for a long time. They don't need all that shit. They don't need the minis. But they do want a decent set of rules. That's why most historical rules didn't have mini lines with it. So there's really no need for it because if you've been playing it for a while, you already got it all. But they come up with some cool rule systems, or I don't know. What are your take on this stuff? I don't know, I'm fucking babbling. Just rapping. Just rapping. You know, what do you guys think? I just, you know, I think we live in the world's gonna have to change. These guys are gonna have to change with the rest of us. I don't think pushing mini lines for historical gamers are gonna keep you going because again, unless new players are getting into it, the old players got it all already. Um, yeah, I mean, you're right, Sean. That's the big thing, dude. It's like finding that rule system that you resonate with. I honestly, guys, I encourage everyone to make your own rule system, man. Make your own rule system. Play how you want to play. And take from all the, buy some rule systems. Check them out. If you resonate with bolt action, right, and that's what you like to play, use the bolt action system and just modify it. Just add what you want to it, take away what you want. Because I guarantee most of you guys, you're not tournament playing. And this farcity of like you walking into a game store and picking up a game, that's a bunch of bullshit. I have never seen that. Now I've seen guys like meet up at the game store and play a game, sure. But I've never seen like a game store that there's a bunch of people going up to the game store and like, hey, you want to play? Yeah, sure. Unless it's a tournament. You don't see that in reality. So play how you want. Get some people together that you think the same way and play how you want with what you want. I mean, with the unfortunate demise of the brick and mortar, the local game shop, it's gonna be and shit, dude. Like when we were driving up to Colorado this week, I'm like, yeah, we should hit every game store, every city. We should see if there's a game store. And then I'm like, I stopped myself. I'm like, why? Why would I go to any game store? Because I guarantee the only thing they're fucking selling there is the same shit as everybody else says. There's nothing different. There's nothing new because there isn't anything different. There isn't anything new. I can get it all on the internet, and unfortunately that sucks because shit, man. Back in the 90s, we used to drive all around Texas, right? We used to drive to all these different towns in Texas. We hit all the game shops, the hobby shops, because we didn't have access to the internet, so it's like you only got what you could get at the shops. But now that experience of like hunting down things that you want to check, it's not there anymore. It's just not there anymore. Oh, that's cool, dude. I'd like to check those out, nerd. Your dust mods, that'd be cool. That I agree. It's like dust is so oversimplified. It's almost comical at times. But it plays fast. I love the minis, dude. I mean, I love the mechs are fucking awesome, and the story's pretty cool too. But yeah, it's so simplified. It's almost comical at times. Oh, that's cool. Right on, dude. That's awesome, girl. Yeah, that's how you do. Just find people, that want to play, and you guys just play the way you want to play. I added like in my Weird War, I added like magic. I added like monsters and aliens. See that's the big thing. Like with me, if I wanted to do something different in my Weird War 2, I can just create a whole new concept. Like if I'm getting bored with playing straight historical or just kind of the normal Weird War 2 tropish gaming, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna introduce Atlantis. Fuck yeah, new army, create fishmen, and I'm gonna do the Deep Ones army that can fight against the Atlanteans, also fighting against the Japanese or whatever the fuck. So, and that's a way to bring in brand new stuff. Like, hey, check it out, I got a new Atlantean battle tank. You know, fuck it. It's a cool tank. It looks cool. I want to play with it. Guess what? It's from Octurian. It's the Octurian recon unit that came to Earth to see what the fuck's whatever. You can go crazy like that. You can just introduce weird war shit like that. That's what's awesome about Weird War 2. You can just do whatever the fuck you want. Do whatever you want. And that's what I'm about gaming wise, man. It's like, you know, it's funny. It's like, you know, a lot of the guys that we kind of interact with, you know, a lot of them are old timers, and you know, they believe in the old way of gaming, right? And I'm like, I'm the same way. It's like, but I'm not so much like the old way is right. I just like my way is right because it's the way I want to play. And I think, and I encourage everybody, find that system that you resonate with, make it your own. You know, fucking turn it, twist it, chop it, edit it, delete it, however you want, and just have fun, man. Just game. That's what we're all. I think a lot of us have lost the reason why we do this. Is like, I mean, I can only speak for myself, guys. I can't speak for you guys. I don't know, you know, but I do all this shit because I want to game. I want to interact with people and have a good time and throw dice, and you know, that's what I love to do. Like painting, that's a fucking chore. I hate it now. There you go, amphibious. That's right. Or hell, you can even say like, you know, the third Siberian army has been corrupted by some fucking lich or something, right? They've all been tainted by some sort of wizard, and now they're fighting against whoever they've come across. You know, that's what you can do with Weird War 2. You can have, you know, if you only got, you know, American and German armies in your World War II, and you've got space bug like Tyranids, guess what? The Americans and the Germans team up to fight against the alien bugs in your Weird War 2. You know, there's a shaky treaty between those two armies in that sector because all of a sudden they're inundated by all these fucking alien bugs. So they fight with each other instead of against each other. And then maybe in the mechanics, you got to roll, like if it's an SS unit or something, right? You got to roll to see if the SS stay with the truce in the middle of battle or something, or if they don't turn on the Americans or some shit. Man, that's what's cool. You can just fucking come up with whatever you want. You can just do it on the fly. It's like, you know, your buddy's like, hey man, I want to introduce this new vampire unit in my Finnish army. Here's what they can do. I'm like, hell yeah, that sounds cool. Let's do it. I don't even care if it's OP, dude. I'm pretty light. I can lose a game. Don't get me wrong. I like to win, of course, but I mean, I can lose just to have fun. I like unbalanced games. Unbalanced games are a lot of fun. You know, it's that challenge to see what you could do. You know, even though you're probably going to get wasted, but let's see how many you can take down before you do. And being sneaky. I like being sneaky. I like in my games, I like to like see. So we in my game system, or in the battleground system, and in my game system, we have a sighting check, right? So you get an auto. There's like, if you're within a certain range of something, let's say if it's something big, you can pretty much see it anyway. You don't have to make a sighting check. But if it's a relative, smaller size, and you're far away from it, you may not see it, right? So you make these sighting checks, and if you're playing the game and forget to do it or don't do it or whatever, man, I used to just I'll just throw my engineers will run across the street and they'll just throw a couple telemarkers on the ground. That's it. They're not dug under the ground. They're not dug in. They're just placed on the fucking street, right? And like, you know, my buddy's playing Russians or Soviets or something, right? And he's coming down the street. And of course his tank's gonna be buttoned up because, you know, there's infantry shooting at him, trying to kill the crew or whatever. And guess what? He doesn't make sighting checks through his, you know, the vision slits. And guess what? He drives over a fucking teller mine that's just in the middle of the road. It's like, what the fuck? I'm like, dude, you should have fucking did a sighting check. You may have seen it. And it's that kind of stuff. It's like, but you know, all of that kind of just, all of that abilities, that tactic of use is lost to these game systems. You know what I mean? You can't do anything outside of the you know, predetermined function of that unit. You know what I mean? It's like it's a machine gun unit. That's all it can fucking do is shoot its machine gun. That's it. It can't man a fucking pack. If the crew gets killed, I mean, don't get me wrong. Machine gunners are probably not trained on a pack, but who says they're not? Maybe they're. Fuck, I don't know. Like a mortar team should take over another mortar probably pretty easily, or an enemy mortar team should take over another, like an enemy's mortar relatively easy, unless it's like complex in some way. There might be some, you know, mechanic. Like I have a modifier called unqualified modifier. So like if you take over, I mean, if it's a bolt action rifle, it's a bolt action rifle, right? I mean, it's not too hard to figure that shit out. But if you pick up a vampire IR system off some dead German, and you're a fucking, you know, you're a Soviet guy, you may not know what the hell it is. It might take you a second to figure out, you know, what this thing is. So there's a modifier for its use until, you know, maybe the next game, if you play with it, you know, for that full game, and the next game you maybe be qualified for. But at that moment, you're unqualified because you don't know, you're not trained on it. You can do that kind of shit. But you know what's cool about the system that I play is that anything goes, man. Anything fucking goes. Like I was saying, like if there's a tank crew, right, and let's say, you know, again, because we do have sighting checks. Let's say the tank commander's got, you know, his hatch open to help with sighting and all that shit. Well, let's say, you know, let's say it's some, you know, Soviet tank commander's got his head out. A German, you know, pioneer comes up and shoots him in the face and throws, you know, whatever. Throws a grenade in the tank, kills the crew. Doesn't necessarily blow up the tank, you know, which, I mean, there's a possibility it could kick off something, but if it doesn't, it just kills the crew, right? So guess what? You got a fucking King Tiger with a dead crew in the middle of a battle. So shit, who's to say that, you know, those, or let's say not King Tiger, but Stalin. You say those pioneers don't climb into that bad boy and turn that turret around and start using it against the column of trucks behind it. Happened all the fucking time, man. I mean, it just, and if it's that possibility of use. You shouldn't say, oh no, that tank is destroyed. It's disappeared. It's just, there's no use. It's just scenery. That's bullshit. I mean, you can take the guns out of tanks, man. You can take the fucking machine guns out of armored vehicles, aircraft. You know, like let's say you have a B-17 crash lands, right? Hell, take those 50s out. They can take those 50s off. I mean, you can't like shoot it from the hip or anything, but you can still take the damn thing out if you needed to. You can take the light machine guns out of tanks. Who's to say that the crew, like, you know, or shit, like Battle of the Bulge, JU-88 gets shot down or something. The crew, you know, takes the machine guns with them to try to get to the coast or something. I don't fucking know, whatever. Play however you want. It just doesn't like, oh, the vehicle is complete. Everything about it is completely useless and it's dead because it can't fly anymore. Well, shit, you still got crewmen in it. You still got weapons on it if they survive. Why can't we use that? Anyway, I'm babbling. Sorry. So what's going on, guys? You got? I mean, I know some of you guys are not American, but you American guys, you guys have any 4th of July plans coming up next week? I'm gonna be working. Barbecues, sports games, whatever. Hit the beach, hit the. Oh no, man. Depending on where you're at, man, Texas is just fucking frying, guys. It is hot as hell down here. It is bad. Bad. Real bad. I'm looking to see what the color of early Soviet army caps were, like infantry would use. Not like an officer cap, but just kind of like a. There we go. Okay, they got like a black brim. Maybe they don't. That's Polish though, right there. Green, maybe. Herm. There we go. Yeah, like black or some shit. Okay, that's cool. Black rim and okay. There we go. Cool. Yeah, because these so I'm painting up these cobblestone back and beyond Soviets. And then, I mean, I guess this is technically like you know, Russian Revolution kind of shit, but you know, whatever. Making them like 1937 Soviet militia. Me and Mel, we watched all the Ghostbuster movies this weekend. When we got back, we said, let's watch Ghostbusters. She's like, let's watch the Ghostbuster movies. I'm like, all right. And the first two, awesome. Now the remake was shit. When they're all girls, I thought it was just dumb. But then like the Afterlife, I mean, I watched that when it first came out. I wasn't really impressed, right? Then I watched it again, and it was okay. I mean, it wasn't, you know, fantastic or anything, but it was all right. And but then like the newest one, like the ice one, was kind of dumb. But Mel liked that one a lot. I like the Afterlife one better than the newest one. And I think my biggest hang up is I don't think that Paul Rudd guy, I think he's a good cast for that. But the girl, Egon's like granddaughter, I don't know. I'm not into her at all. And like the son, like his grandson, the guy from what is it? Stranger Things. I don't know. I'm not into him. I wasn't into him and his little story and whatever. I don't know. I just think they may have miscast those guys, those two. And the mom was just fucking painful. Just like, I don't know why Rudd's character fell for her at all, because she just fucking a bitch. It's just like everything she said was just like some sort of, I don't know, just some sort of snippy remark or some being a smart ass or even, I don't know. Maybe that's how people talk nowadays. But the story wasn't bad. I thought it was kind of cool. Egon's ghost came back at the end. That was all right. And it was like, but when the second one, it's time to retire the original Ghostbusters. It's time for, as much as I like Dan Aykroyd and Ernie Hudson and Bill Murray and all those guys, they're fucking great. But I think if you're making these for a new generation, it's time to let those guys go. Because Bill Murray, I mean, he obviously came in there just to do it real quick because, whatever. I don't think his heart's in it. I don't think his heart was in the original ones, to be honest with him. But whatever. Oh, sweet Clue! I love. Are you playing the game or are you watching the movie? The movie was awesome. You guys remember Clue, the movie? I remember when that first came out. I remember this specifically. There were like certain theaters, and it would say Clue. I think it said ending A, B, C, A, B, or C, right? Because when they originally came out, it was like that. They had different endings depending on what theater you went to. And then, like, I guess maybe the last week it was or something that there was like one that anyway. But if you bought the DVD or whatever, it has all the different endings in it. It shows you all the different endings. But that was cool. I thought that was really cool. Oh, you're playing it, sweet. Yeah, Clue's cool. Clue's a fun game. That's definitely that's a staple of family game night, I think, for most in America. It's a fun one. Clue is like one of those games that like they like skinned over the years. It's like Scooby Doo Clue and Star Wars Clue and blah 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 Clue, Clue. Kind of like Monopoly. They just reskin it with different like. Hell, I've seen Monopoly doing like your hometown. It's like, hey, Austin, Texas, Monopoly, and like the streets. The properties are like actual like streets and areas of the city or whatever. Hell, I probably got that all over the world. It's funny. Oh, Bob's Burgers, right on. That's a fun show. My kids were really into that when they were younger. We watched that all the time. Oh my god, Bob is so hilarious. The guy who, the voice of that guy, he did like Archer, and I don't know if you ever watched that cartoon called Home Movies. He was like the coach. That's when I can't remember his damn name, the actor's name. His voice is so fucking funny. Hilarious. But yeah, Bob's Burgers is a good show. It's fun. It's a weird show. It's cool. Oh, but I was saying earlier, we had just finished the second season of the North South. We really enjoy it. I'm really enjoying that show. I remember seeing that as a kid when it first came out. My history teacher had video. He had recorded it on his VHS, and we watched it at school. I remember watching that originally. I hadn't seen it since. Rewatch it, really fucking good, really compelling story. I love the characters, and and I was talking to Mel, and I'm like, man, they would not make anything like this now, dude. It's just too Civil War would be too controversial, and in the way they did, because it was like rich Northern family, rich Southern family. I mean, they showed all the aspects of the different, I really enjoyed it. But anyway, so we finished the second season. That ends at the very end of the Civil War, right? And spoilers, if you haven't seen it and you don't want to know what happens, then don't listen. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, so the main bad guy against Patrick Swayze's character, Aaron. Oh, I can't remember his fucking name. But anyway, Patrick Swayze's character. In the last episode of the last season of the second season, he gets blown up, right? In this barn with all this ammo and stuff in it. And then the very first fucking scene in the new season, season 3, episode 1. He's live. And you guys, throughout the series, you want this guy dead because he's a total bastard, right? Total bastard. But anyway, guy's alive, and there's a narrator over the scene saying like the strange twist of fate, he survived. I'm like, motherfuckers. I'm like, we turned it off. We couldn't handle it. I'm like, dude, what in the hell? It's like some comic book villain reemerging after he got melted by a laser or some shit. You're just like, what? How the hell? So we're not sure if we're gonna finish watching it because I was just like, they just brought him back. What the fuck? I don't know, but it's a good show for the most part up until that fucking point. It's a tearjerker. Are you guys slow painters? Oh, that's it. Coach McGurk. Yep. Coach McGurk. That's great. Yeah, home movies had that squiggle vision. That was pretty funny. I really enjoyed home movies. That was really good. I remember I had the soundtrack. They had some pretty good songs in it. But yeah, that's a good show. If you guys haven't seen home movies, give it a go if you can find it. It's pretty funny. Guys, I am the slowest painter nowadays. My God. First of all, I can't see a damn thing. So it's like, I need to, well, you got all you guys in your fast painting, what is it called? Quick painting, fast painting, what is it called? Speed painting. You need to try that shit. What are you watching, babe? Sounds like Mel's watching like Hollywood's most heartbreaking endings or deaths in movies. Guess it's right now. They did the one with My Girl. Is that the one with the little kid gets killed? Macaulay Culkin dies in that one. And then I guess now it's Seven. The ending of Seven, dude. Seven was brutal. That was a brutal movie. I have to admit, Soviets are easy to paint. They're not too flashy. They're just kind of, you got their base uniform, and then you got just their belts, their boots. That's about it. Where is that? So who's winning, Sean, in your Clue? That's funny. I mean, did someone actually get murdered, or did someone steal the burger or something? They change it up a little bit. Is it like a Mr. Body get killed, or is it Mr. Burger, or the burger gets stolen or something, gets eaten? Oh, so nerd, if you're still here, have you played any of the original Dust stuff, like the board game, the Dust Tactic board game stuff? You know, me and Mel are trying to play I got the whole catalog, trying to play it all out. But man, it's just like, it is a board game, and to play a campaign on a board game isn't really all that great. Because they're basically wanting us to use the same it's the same character unit, it's the same, it's just like there's no like repercussion if like that character dies, It's like you can bring him next battle anyway. It's kind of stupid. But yeah. Dust Battlefront. What is that? Oh, is that the like board game? Kind of like the Risk game? They still she is still dead body. Okay, that's funny. Did you see? Oh, so nerd, did you see us play? We played that like shit game that Shadows over Normandy. Did you see that battle report we did with the actual dust? I guess they did some sort of like dust crossover sheet of like punch, chits. It was pretty fun. I mean, it doesn't really equate to the dust rules because, like, I remember Mel played with the Axis Gorillas and they got killed pretty quick. But they had like some of the walkers and stuff. It was pretty cool. You should check that out. It's got like, we played with some Ludwigs and some Honeys and Wildfires. And I think we played with the hot dog. Holy shit. So the mission, I was supposed to like clear this. I was supposed to find this virgin, right? For sacrifice or something. We're trying to save her. And I had a hot dog. And that hot dog, it's a fucking flamethrower. And that flamethrower just went through that town and just flamed the hell out of Mel's stuff. It was pretty badass. Realistic. Flamethrowers were no bueno. I don't think I want to be the receiving end of a vehicle mounted flamethrower. That's for damn sure. That is for damn sure. But what's that? Oh, okay. Well, it looks like Mel made us some dinner, guys. So I guess I'm gonna cut this short. And want to say good to see everybody. Sean, nerd. I think who else we got up in this bad boy? We had I know we had Hermit come by. We had Brian. Good to see you guys. I'm glad that everybody showed up and hung out. I'm gonna try to do this. I keep saying that. I'm gonna try to do this once a week because I really have got to get some fucking painting done, man. This just seems like a good way for me to paint. I painted one figure. But he's done. Well, he's not done. I got to shade it and all that shit. But anyway, it's done enough. And I painted up some horses. I got something done. But, well, listen, if I don't see you guys before 4th of July, everybody have a great, happy, fun, safe 4th of July. That's right. Keep it weird, Sean. Always got to keep it weird. And, let's see what we got here. Yeah, dude, nerd. I think I missed you said that you had I'd like to check out those rule modifications that you made for Dust. I might use those. Tell everybody about them. We'll play them on the game or on the channel. It should be fun. But all right, guys. Again, good to see everybody. Glad that you're all doing well. And whatever you do, this crazy, crazy mixed up world, keep it weird. See you later, guys.